What's going on, y'all? This your man Pristine back with another video. Welcome to the impressions and first initial thoughts on the Google Pixel 2 XL. Now, I've been wanting to get my hands on this device for some time now, but I didn't want to pay full price for it, right? Because this phone costs $850. Now, Verizon has a deal going on right now. They've got a promotion where you get $300 off either the Pixel 2 XL or the normal sized Pixel 2. Well, I won't say normal sized. I'll just say the smaller option because I like big phones. So 5.5 and up to me is normal sized. But obviously, you know, there's a price hike if you get the XL over the Pixel 2. Either way, you're going to get $300 off of the device. And it's not like if you were to go buy the phone flat out that you get $300 off just like that, and then you're just responsible for the difference. It's $300 off in bill credits over a 24-month time span. So say if you were getting it full price, $850 plus the taxes, I mean, that's going to take you a little over $900. I mean, so, you know, your monthly payment on top of your bill may be, you know, your monthly payment for the phone on top of your bill may be anywhere between $35 and $40 over a 24-month time span. Well, what they do is the monthly payment for the phone is discounted. So I put down a deposit. So my payment's only $12 a month over, or I get $12.50 off what I owe monthly for the phone over a 24-month time span, equaling up to $300. You know, so that's currently the promotion that Verizon has going on right now. So if that's something that you guys are interested in, you know, hey, head down to your local Verizon store and pick yourself up a Google Pixel 2 or Pixel 2 XL. I'm not sure exactly how much longer this promotion is going to be on. But I'm like, hey, $300 off. I'm getting it for $550 plus taxes. Hey, I can't even trip. You know what I'm saying? So here before you is the Pixel 2 XL. Now, real quick, before I pick it up and take a look at the hardware, software, all that kind of thing, let's go down the spec list real quick, just so you guys have an idea, if you don't already know, what's under the hood with the Google Pixel 2 XL here. Now, real quick, we've got a 6-inch POLED 1440 by 2880 pixel display. Okay, we've got the 18:9 aspect ratio. We've got a PPI pixel density of 538. We've got a Snapdragon 835 processor with 4 gigs of RAM. We've got 64 gigs of onboard internal storage. We are running Android Oreo 8.0 fresh out of the box. On the front of the device, we have Corning Gorilla Glass 5. We've got a all-metal unibody or aluminum unibody with some glass on the back. And so you guys will take a look at that when I get the phone in hand and flip it over here in a little bit. We're running an Adreno 540 with an octa-core CPU. Now, the cameras, the rear camera is a 12.2 megapixel sensor with an f1.8 aperture. The selfie camera here on the front of the device is an 8 megapixel f2.4 aperture. These cameras are fully spec'd, all the bells and whistles. They take phenomenal photos. This camera is actually considered by DxOMark to be the best camera that there is on a smartphone. So we definitely will test that. Now, I already have seen some camera footage and video footage that this phone has captured, and I gotta say, it is very impressive. It is extremely impressive. So definitely worthy of being, you know, in the top 3 for sure. But we'll see if it's the number one. If it's the one if it's the number one contender, or if it's holding the crown, if it's the camera champion of all the great devices that are out here in the mobile world. Now, battery, we've got a non-removable 3520 milliamp hour battery. All right, now, okay, let me tell you guys this real quick. First off, you know, I'm all about saving money. So initially, a couple of days ago, when I first took advantage of this deal, I was like, you know what? I don't need the Pixel 2 XL. You know, I've got bezel-less display phones. I'm not really tripping over the 18:9 aspect ratio because, hey, I've got the essential phone, which is what I'm recording this video on. I've got, you know, I've got the iPhone 10 right here. You know what I'm saying? You know, I have the Note 8. You know, I had the S8 and the S8 Plus. I had the G6. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so, you know, wasn't really a big deal for me. I was just like, I'm gonna save some money, and I'm still gonna get that Pixel 2 experience. And so after about a day and a half of rocking it, man, the the thing that I like about the Pixels between the two sizes is they're the same device. It's not one of those things where, the smaller one you get, somewhat scaled down specs, or just kind of like iPhone. Like, if you want the best camera experience with the iPhone, they basically force you to get a Plus, right? Which is going to cost extra money. The camera's solid. It's decent on, the 8 or the 7, but if you want that dual camera setup and if you want to have all, the options at your fingertips that the Apple cameras are capable of, you either got to get the X here, the 8 Plus, or the 7 Plus, right? It's not like that. The cameras and stuff are the exact same on the Pixel 2 and the Pixel 2 XL. All the specs and things are the same, but here's where they differ. Okay, obviously the screen sizes. This is a 6-inch, the Pixel 2 is a 5-inch, okay? I can't do a 5-inch display because I'm so used to just bigger screens. Right now, it feels good in my hand because it's smaller and I have very small hands, but I've grown so accustomed to holding big phones, I just know how to manage them, So that was one strike against it, in my opinion. I mean, I'm just giving you guys my take on the smaller one and why I upgraded to the bigger one. All right. The screen real estate is one. Okay. Now, this has a POLED display. This is an AMOLED panel. The smaller Pixel 2, the 5-inch, has a Full HD AMOLED panel, but it's not Quad HD or anything like that, and it looks amazing. It looks really good, but that is also another difference in one of the ways that they differ. Now, here's the one thing that did it for me: the battery. As I just mentioned, the battery life on this device is 3520. The battery life on the Pixel 2 is 2700 milliamps. And I found myself with that device, my battery was draining and draining and draining for no apparent reason. I've been at work these last couple of days. I work 12-hour shifts in the medical field. So it's not like I can just sit there and just be on my phone all the time. I work in an ER. It's busy as hell in the ER. It's flu season. People are sick, all kinds of crazy injuries and illnesses, heart conditions, cancers, all type of stuff I deal with. So usually when I'm at work, I'm hella busy. But even still, with just getting my notifications, I've had my Samsung Gear Fit 2 connected to it, so I can get all my notifications on my watch and just look down at my wrist so I'm not constantly, taking my phone out, looking at it, looking like I'm just goofing off on my phone all the time. The phone was running really hot, and the battery just continued to drain with very minimal usage. And, I'm used to having phones that have bigger batteries that last me all day. So I was just like, you know what? The XL is what I wanted anyway. But, sometimes, hey, you want to save some money. But, after, rocking with the Pixel 2, the 5-inch one, for about a day and a half, 2 days, I was like, yo, man, I need that XL. So I just took it back and I swapped it. Got the XL here, So now I'm in my comfort zone. You know what I'm saying? I'm in my comfort zone. I got the big display, I got, good cameras, got a big battery that's gonna, the battery is very, very generous. I know a few people that have this phone and they love the battery life. And I see how they use their device, and they charge their phone maybe once every day and a half or 2 days with heavy usage. That's crazy. So the battery on the XL2 is, if you're looking for longevity, you're definitely going to want to go with the XL2 for sure. All right. So as I mentioned, 3520 milliamp hour battery, fast charging, capped at 10.5 watts. We've got a Type-C 1.0 connector with Power Delivery 2.0, which is the Pixel's fast charging, the name of their fast charging technology, Power Delivery 2.0. We do have NFC on board. We've got Bluetooth 5.0. There's no headphone jack, but there is a headphone jack adapter, a Type-C to 3.5 millimeter jack adapter in the box, so that is included. It's not an additional accessory that you have to go out and buy. We've got dual front-facing speakers that sound amazing. This phone has always-on display, which is a plus. There's nothing like not being able to have to pick up your device, just glance over at it, especially on these little stands that I got. If you guys check these out, I ordered these on Amazon. They were like $8 a piece. They're fully metal, and they got little rubber accents on them right here and right there, just so that, it holds the device in place. And it just sits up just like that. so I can just glance over at it. I can see the time, I can see the date. If there's any notifications, it'll display your notifications under the time and the date. So I like the fact that it's housed with always on display. I love that feature. Now this device is IP67 water and dust resistant. I believe it can be held underwater for a meter for at least 30 minutes. But still, that's no big deal to me because I just don't get my electronics wet. I'm just from the old school. But for, some of you people that are out there wondering, the Pixel 2 and the Pixel 2 XL is water and dust resistant. All right. And the colors that you can get this phone in is just black and black and white, which is what I refer to as Panda. So yeah, you see it's that nice black and white. And I like the way that looks. I mean, it's a different look than a lot of other devices. I mean, so I like the way that this phone is built. Now, very premium feeling in the hand. Feels really good in the hand. I love the fact that the edges are curved here, so they're not digging into the palm of your hand as you're holding the device. Now, again, just really quickly, just taking a look at the cosmetics. Here's our 6-inch edge-to-edge display with the 18:9 aspect ratio. Beautiful display here. That AMOLED, I mean, the blacks are really black. The whites are really really white. Just the colors really pop. I mean, reds are really red, yellow and green, and blue are really, truly yellow, green, and blue. So it's a pretty spectacular looking panel. Now, we'll see over the course of time of dealing with this phone. I know that, another one of the main issues why I got the Pixel 2 first was because a lot of the issues with the screen that I continue to hear about. I mean, just burning and among other things. And I understand that Google has pushed out some updates to fix those things. Now, like I said, I know a few folks that have this phone, and I've looked at their device, and they've had theirs since like launch day, and their device is flawless. I haven't seen any burn-in. I haven't seen anything like that. And I know a lot of people are dealing with these things, but I mean, I don't know if people are just making a bigger deal of it than what it really is. Even the video footage that I saw where some people that did experience screen burn-in, I mean, it was very, very faint. I mean, it wasn't anything that you can really notice just by just looking at your phone, just like how I'm looking at it right now. You would literally have to hold the phone up to your face, just to be able to see that. And, some people make a big deal about, oh, well, if you turn the phone, too far to the left or too far to the right on screens where, the background is white, then there's like this bluish tint that comes about. Who gives a shit about a bluish tint when you're looking at your phone head on? Let me ask you guys something, man. Who looks at their device like this? Or like this? Or if you've got it in the landscape view and you're watching something, are you looking at it like this? Or like this? No, you're looking at it head on. You're looking at the phone head on. I mean, I can't see the screen. I can see the screen, but I can't see it clearly enough to look at it from this angle, looking at it in this angle, or looking at it in this angle. Now, you guys can see, I mean, you can see the apps and stuff right there. You guys see that I've got the Earth on the screen. So if I turn it like this, you can still see it. But is it clear enough for you to make out exactly what it is if you didn't know that was what it was? No. So who gives a shit about this tint and this ridiculous things that people just talk about? They just find little things to nitpick about. And it's annoying. It's, excuse me, it's irritating. I mean, who cares about that? You know what I'm saying? The viewing angles on this phone is phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? The phone gets plenty bright in bright environments. You can put on you can adjust the brightness to set it up to where the phone's screen will adjust to different lighting conditions if that's what you want to do. And if your vision is obscured due to lighting effects, whether you're outside from the sunlight or you're in a well-lit area, man, just adjust the phone. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if there's a glare on the phone while you're looking at it, just, man, move it away from the light and look at it. I mean, just people are ridiculous, man. In my personal opinion, man. Some of these reviewers, I mean, they kill me. I mean, I pride myself on keeping it real, man, and I don't bash anybody for their reviews, but I sometimes feel like people struggle for talking points. You know what I'm saying? just to have something to talk about. They want to find something negative to downgrade a phone, you know, to try to deter people from picking it up when it's actually a good device. I mean, come on, blue tint. If you're holding the phone too far off of its axis, you can't even see it like this anyway. I mean, I can see if the phone was supposed to be viewed in these angles, but that's not the reality. So who cares if the screen turns blue a little bit if you're holding it this way or this way? You can't even see it in any of those orientations. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous, man. But getting off, you know, not to get off subject. Okay, so 6-inch display. Here's our 8 megapixel selfie camera. Get in close. Here's the receiver right here, which is one of the front-facing speakers. We've got the other one here at the bottom. Now to the right of the device, we've got our power button, which is like a neon orangish color, which there's no getting away from what that power button is. Okay, I love the color scheme on this device, man. It's very different, and I like different. All right, power button, volume rocker up and down. All right, at the top of the device, we've got a little noise canceling microphone right there. Left side of the device, we've got our SIM tray, and this is it's a single nano SIM tray. It's not a dual SIM tray. Again, now with the Pixel devices, there's no memory expansion. So you can get this in 64 gigs, which is what this is, or 128 gig. Okay, there's no memory expansion, so keep that in mind when you're making the purchase. All right, now on the bottom of the device, we've got nothing but our Type-C adapter for charging. And then to the back, you see this is where we've got the white aluminum along the back, and this is also aluminum around the sides. Now again, as I mentioned, on the front of the device, this is Corning Gorilla Glass 5. Now it's not specified as to whether or not this also is Corning Gorilla Glass 5. I know it's glass, I'm just not sure if it's Gorilla Glass 5 or what. All right, but we've got the aluminum back. We've got the Google branding here. This is where our rear mounted fingerprint sensor is. Perfect position for the fingerprint sensor. And then this is our 12 megapixel rear facing camera, our 12.2 megapixel camera with the dual tone LED flash and the laser autofocus. All right. Now, I did not put all of my apps on the device just yet because I wanted you guys to see exactly everything that's on the phone when it's fresh out of the box. I just cracked it out of the box. I didn't want to bother with an unboxing video because the phone's been out for like a month and a half, 2 months. Man, there's plenty of unboxing videos that you guys can see, but if you really want to know, I mean, just obviously the phone's in the box, the Type-C cable, the power brick here, the literature that comes, you know, with every phone, just the instructions, the quick start guide, warranty information, all that kind of thing. And then, like I said, there's the Type-C USB to 3.5 millimeter jack adapter. If you guys, you know, for all you people that want to plug in who listen to headphones. Those are the only things that are included in the box. All right. Now, fingerprint sensor. The setup of with this device, the fingerprint was one of the fastest fingerprint sensor setups that I've experienced. I mean, it was extremely fast. Okay. And the fingerprint sensor, as you'll see, I'll just tap, opens the phone right up. Okay, so that's definitely not going to be a problem. The fingerprint sensor is nice and snappy. The fingerprint sensor also comes housed with gestures. So if you scroll down, do I have that set up? Well, I don't have it set up yet. I gotta set that up in options or in the settings. But yeah, if you scroll down, you know, it'll bring down your notification shade and you can view all your notifications and stuff like that. If you swipe back up on it, it'll get the notification shade out of there. And I believe if you're in Google Photos, when you're looking at photos, like if you swipe to the left or the right, you can, you know, go back and forth from photos and stuff like that. So that's a pretty cool feature to have. Now, as I mentioned, I mean, we're running Android 8.0 Oreo fresh out of the box. I'm still learning what some of those differences are because a lot of the stuff still looks really similar to Android Nougat. But here is our notification shade here, and you can see how on 7.1.1 Nougat, like the edit and the settings menu, that stuff will be up here if you brought down the notification shade, but instead it's on the middle of the page now. So that's one of the main things, that's one of the only things that I've noticed thus far. So I really need to get in here and see what's new with 8.0 so I can, get into those things and play around with them and see if I can notice some of the difference or take advantage of some of the differences. Yeah, I mean, so we get into settings. Now, even the settings here, I notice with 8.0, the settings are condensed. They've been consolidated. I mean, so, some of the older Android devices, or I won't say older, but some of the devices that are running the older software, the 7.1.1 Nougat, the settings list is much longer than this. And so with 8.0 Oreo, it seems as though a lot of the settings have been consolidated. And so there may be some things that you really want to find, and you're just going to have to just go into each one of these because they're, like I said, I mean, they're consolidated. They're there, but it just not may have its own little section like these do, So it will be worth just kind of going through each and every one of these to see which is under each one of these little categories. A lot of things that you can adjust and tweak. It's just a matter of finding out where they are. And so that's another thing that, I don't know. I mean, I guess there's a tutorial, I guess, indicating where all these things are. But they don't really make it all that simple for you. I mean, so me, I don't really pull out instruction manuals. I just play with the device and I just find where stuff is. And so, fortunately for me, I've been able to find just about everything that I want to customize. It wasn't that big of a deal. It didn't take too much time. But the settings menu has definitely been consolidated, and it's not as long of a list as it once has been. Now on this device, we do have the squeeze feature, which you can squeeze the device, and as you can see right there, squeeze for your assistant. And I haven't set it up yet, but you can adjust the squeeze pressure. You can make it a light squeeze, and the lighter the squeeze, the more prone you're going to be to accidentally accessing your Google Assistant. I think it kind of sucks the fact that you cannot set this squeeze feature to do other things besides access your Google Assistant. I know that the HTC devices that has the squeeze feature, I mean, they actually are the ones who introduced this technology. You can set it to do different things. You can set it to open up the camera. You can set it to take a picture if you're in the camera app. You can set it to do other things as well. But I mean, from what I understand, the only thing that you can do here on the Pixel 2 and the Pixel 2 XL is squeeze the phone to access your Google Assistant. Which, if you don't want to, get into the phone or if you don't want to say, okay, Google, then, and you can see that just popped up, then you can just go ahead and give the phone a little squeeze and it'll bring up your Google Assistant. So I'll set all that stuff up later. But here is, didn't mean to hit the camera. So here's everything that's in the device. Like I said, I haven't put out one of my apps on the phone. I mean, so these are all the apps that already come preloaded on the device. And again, it's a Google phone. Obviously you get the full Google suite. So these are all Google apps that are on the device. I haven't put out one of my apps on this device. I'm going to do that as soon as I close out this video. So as you can see, Photos, Maps, Gmail, Clock, Settings, Allo, Android Pay, Calculator, Calendar, Camera, Chrome, Clock, Controls, Daydream, Docs, Downloads, Drive, Duo, Gmail, Go90, don't know what that is, Google Keep, Maps. This is the only Verizon app that's on here because I got this from Verizon. So the Verizon Messages, that little red icon right there. We've got Messages. Oh, and My Verizon. Okay, so two carrier apps. Okay. Phone, Play Movie, Play Music, Play Store, Settings, and YouTube. That's it. That is all that comes on this device. I don't believe that there's a way to switch around the orientation as far as the app drawer. Now, this little arrow right there, when you hit that, that brings up the app drawer. This is where all your apps are kept. You can move these to your home screen, but I don't believe that there's some, or maybe there is, but if there is, I haven't seen an option in the settings where you can opt to do away with the app drawer and just have all of your apps on the home screen, just kind of like an iPhone type of setup. I'm not sure if that's something that's present on this device. All right. Snapdragon 835 processor, 4 gigs of RAM. This phone is extremely fast and fluid. Pictures there. Android Pay. Just open up some apps just to give you guys an idea how snappy it is. I am connected to my Wi-Fi in the house, so that does make a little bit of a difference, but I am running on the T-Mobile network. Or my bad, y'all. T-Mobile is my main carrier. Verizon is kind of like my side piece, you know what I'm saying? So I'm running on the Verizon network, which, I mean, you know, network and data speeds are all pretty solid. So again, just opening up some apps here just to give you guys an idea how snappy it is. Like I said, I haven't really set up anything, which is why it's still taking me through a lot of these other things. Go to the clock, contacts, Daydream. This is Daydream compatible. Google Docs. You guys get the idea. All right. RAM management. See, all these apps are open. When you go back to them, they just open right up. Okay, got a system update as soon as I cracked it out the box and turned it on, and so I believe that was some of the bug fixes for the screen and a couple of other things to help out the performance. I mean, so that's always a good welcome thing, to make sure that your phone is always running at the optimum level. That's definitely something that you want. But yeah, I mean, so far, I mean, my thoughts and impressions, I mean, snappy device. I mean, you know, I understand now why some people say that the Pixels are definitely one of the most fluid Google experiences that you can have. This is actually my first Pixel phone. I didn't bother getting the Pixel or the Pixel XL last year when it came out. So I'm excited to get my apps loaded up into this bad boy and get it going, and, you know, start using it as my daily driver. And then, of course, you guys stay tuned for the camera video that's going to be called Pixel 2 XL / the camera. I just keep it nice and simple, and, you know, I'll give you guys a bunch of samples of some still shots, selfies, and video footage that I've captured with this camera, just to give you guys an idea of what that experience is like. And then that'll be followed up with a full pristine review. So definitely stay tuned. Thank you guys for tuning in to this video. If you liked it, go ahead and click that thumbs up button. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, to expose yourself to tons of videos that I've done like this one. And stay tuned, because I've got much more to come here at Pristine Mobile Tech. All right. So in the meantime, you guys stay safe. Definitely get spiritually fit if you have not already. Again, we are clearly living in the last days. You know, the good Lord, he can come back any day now. And if he does, you definitely want to make sure that you're right with him. All right? Get right with Christ. Keep it pristine in every aspect of your lives, man. This is the Google Pixel 2 XL. I'm your man, Pristine, bringing you the content. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace. Yeah.